Hey YouTube, Dan Ottawa here, coming at you with the third part of my team building series. So if you're new to this channel, I appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and please like the video if you like this sort of content. So the team building here is fairly straightforward, and the best way to sum it up is a balanced approach. You're going to have two Pokemon that build off each other and counter each other's weaknesses, and you're going to have a safe swap. But for me, again, so it's not anything sort of inventive, but I just want to teach you how I go about building these teams because I like using this balanced approach the best. So first I decide on Pokemon A, which is who do I want to use? Doesn't matter. You can look at the meta if you want. I don't really care about the meta. I look at what Pokemon do I want to use. It could be something I just recently caught. It could be something that I just want to test out. It could be something that you could look at the meta if you want. Just it could be your favorite Pokemon, whatever. That's Pokemon A. You then say, okay, what are Pokemon A weaknesses? One, two, three, or whatever. You then decide your Pokemon C is going to be covering all those weaknesses. So if you're using a Sirfetch'd, it is weak to Psychic. You cover it with a Dark type Pokemon in the back. And then you go with a safe swap, Pokemon B, because there's sort of two things that are going to happen here. If you are if you lose lead, like if you get countered hard, if I have a Swampert and I see a Venusaur, and I have Pokemon C that covers Swampert's weakness, like let's say it's a fire. If I come immediately with a fire, it's probably good that case that they are also running a balance line that could cover their weaknesses. So you can't just come in with a hard counter right away. And that's where these safe swaps do come in um, and put in work. So with safe swaps, there's one of two ways you can do it. You can just do um, actually one of three ways I look at it. You can just do like a neutral safe swap. Doesn't really relate to Pokemon A or C, but just they're good safe swaps in general. Like it may not Sableye may not relate to A and C, but I just like using Sableye. I'm going to use it. The second option is to use a safe swap that covers A's and C's weaknesses as well. So in one of my past battles, I used a Deox because I think what Pokemon C was weak to Bastiodon and Pokemon A was weak to Venusaur. So Deox with the counters covered Bastiodon and with the Psycho boost covered Venusaur. So you can use that as a safe swap to kind of neutralize those weaknesses. Or you can do it like a modified ABB line where you use Pokemon B as like similar to Pokemon C, but obviously more as a safe swap. So if you're using Skarmory as a Pokemon C, maybe use a Pelipper as your safe swap. So it still sort of draw out the counter user to the Skarmory, hopefully. And that's the strategy there. So let's just get into some battles and I'll go through my thought process behind the team and then just look at it. So the first one here is a Kanto Ninetales. So, and I paired it with a Swampert because Kanto Ninetales is weak to water, but is also weak to um, rock. So I'm using the Swampert as sort of your covering your weakness to rock there, and you do theoretically neutral in water matchups. So I had a good lead here. They switched out. I don't have like a direct response to this, so I just do the overheat to do a lot of chip damage, and now I'm coming with the Swampert because I can now outpace this and keep the switch advantage. So this is one of the matchups where you have a good lead and your back Pokemon. If I had a good lead, not that I have a bad lead against the if I had led Swampert here, I'd just be more of a neutral lead. But I'm going to be able to flip this match if I want. Not flip this match. I'll be able to keep it in my favor here. That'll go down. We're both down a shield. That's okay. I got switch. Plus, I'm going to be able to get off. I'm not going to get to a Sludge Wave, so I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to go Hydro Cannon because it can be Hydro Cannon from Shadow hits really hard. Really hard. And we see MP Tide there, so this is going to take me out. So I should be able to come in and Fire Spin down, but I'm assuming they will switch right away. And they switch into a Medicham. And this is where Safe Swap just happens to counter it hard. So, as I say, they ran. You can already see how your opponent there. They didn't use a Charm Ninetales. They used a Powder Snow. But if they ran into like a Bastiodon, they'd be weak, which is why they have the Medicham, right? You're always covering your weakness in the back with one of your Pokemon. So in this match, I'm going to be able to get to the Wild Charge here and take this out with a shield. So had good alignment on that one. No, matchup is not done, but it will be done after I get this Fire Spin off and Weather Ball. So that's a good lead. I think the next one is either going to be a neutral lead or a bad lead here. And this is where the safe swap comes in handy. So Ninetales into an Obstagoon. So that's a neutral lead here. So you don't want to switch out right away here because your Mew is useless against this, and you don't want to get switch locked with the Swampert. So I think I'm just going to have to take this as is here. And they try to catch on a Marowak, but now I could just hard punish this with a Swampert. So I'm fine. I could have thrown to take it out, but I prefer to just build up to 2 because if they try and shield this and get too cute, I could just back to back. Or if they let it go, I'm going to have a Hydro Cannon for whatever comes in. So if the Obstagoon came back in, I'd hit hard with the Hydro Cannon. And I'd rather do that because I'll get the shield right away. But it's a Lantern. This is where Earthquake would be much better. I'm going to throw the Sludge Wave anyways, just because it'll do some good damage, but they shield it up. And I think I'm going to be able to do another one. So this will, I think they shield again if I'm not mistaken. So they really just don't want, I mean, they've already lost switch, so I really don't know why you'd shield that up twice or not throw earlier. Yeah, everything's resisted, but you still need to try and chip me. So they snipe me down with their Obstagoon, but now they're down shields, and you know I love running Overheat on my Ninetales, so this is going to one-shot the Obstagoon. Boom. And out comes the Lantern again, and I'm going to build up. I do end up taking this out with a Wild Charge. I don't know why I just didn't throw it right away. I think my thought process was I can survive whatever is thrown at me here, and I don't want to lower my defense in case it doesn't take it out, but it does take it out, so this is the matchup where I didn't even have to use the Mew as much, but Mew, again, I tried to run so many teams, so I can't really show you them all working as they should, but Mew, if you lose the lead, Mew as a safe swap is solid. Again, I prefer it on the lead, but so this one, I'm using a Venusaur Deox Stunfisk. So Venusaur is going to be weak to fire, but there's not a lot of fire. So it's also going to be weak to ice. There's a lot more ice, which is why I'm using the Stunfisk. So if an ice comes in, I can hit it with the rock slides. Plus, if fire is also weak to rock, so it has that coverage. So I'm staying in here because this is a pretty decent match. I should be able to outpace it with the Frenzy Plants. I shielded up 1. They baited me, which is not great, so I have to shield this up again. But I should be able to just Vine Whip them down from here, and they know that, so they switch into their DX. So I'm going to throw this to do either grab Blast Shield or do a lot of damage, and then come into my Deox Mirror match. But they got to the Psycho Boost, so this is definitely going to take me out, which is too bad. Maybe I should have farmed up that 1 extra. So the good news is they're 2-time attack lowered. So these moves are not going to do anything to me. The problem is they still have a shield left. So I'm going to build up as much as I can. I was debating trying to counter down, but it's psychic, so you can't really counter it down. So I'm going to have to throw here. I don't want to lower my attack either, so I'm going to have to go for the Rock Slide. And out comes the Tropius. So I can go back-to-back Rock Slide. I can go Rock Slide here. Plus, I now have a another Rock Slide in the back here. So we both tried to catch here, which was awesome because now I can get to this Rock Slide and take out their Stunfisk before I get Earthquaked. And now I have 2 Pokemon with Rock Slide to deal with this Tropius, so they quit. So this is one, like this is one where if I ran into a fire, it would hurt. It would have hurt, but there's not a lot of fires. So this one is a Galvantula, which is weak to fire and rock. So I'm covering it with an Azu in the back, and I'm using Umbreon as a safe switch. So get in against a Victreebel. I'm going to go shield for shield here because I know I can get a second one off here. They catch on, what did they catch on? A Sableye, I think? So I'm going to go in here with the Azu because I don't want my Azu to see the Victreebel. Plus, I lowered their attack already, so even this return will probably only do like, what, 50% now maybe? Not even. So I want to build up to 2 ice beams because if the victory bell comes in, I want to throw it immediately at it. So build it up. We're even on shields, and now comes the Bastiodon. I guess they had to take the chance that I do not have, because it was in the back. A lot of the people that run in the back run it with Play Rough and not Hydro Pump, but I run it with Hydro Pump. So that's going to be able to do significant damage. They try to catch on their Victory Bell, and they caught an Ice Beam, so they have to shield. And at this point, I come in with my Safe Swap because it will do neutral against this, but it's so bulky and spammy that should be able to take this out here. I'll take out the Bastiodon next. So I also like leading Pokemon that also have only sort of that you don't really need to switch out of, which is why I like my all safe swap team, because I don't I prefer just to like have a neutral or good lead. I don't want to have to like switch out in like in an ABB format. So again, here's a Lickitung, which against a Galvantula is a pretty neutral matchup. I think I would lose this match. So I throw this right away. I've never played a Galvantula versus Lickitung. So my thought process was, okay, that did not too bad. I'm going to shield this up because I seem to outpace it. So, and we CMP tied, and Galvantula wins that. So I'm going to shield that one up and throw this one. So even if we CMP tie again, there'll at least be 2-time attack lowered that I should be able to take a body slam here and survive. So I'm going to be down a shield, but I'm going to win switch. So take that out, and they come in with a Altaria, and they take me down quickly. So I'm glad I have the alignment with my Azure here, and they come with an Empoleon. So this is a okay match for me. The problem is it's not a great match when you're down a shield, but the Hydro Cannons, again, Umbreon is so tanky. So the Umbreons, which is a pretty hard-hitting move in general, didn't do much there. So I'm going to just fire off these foul plays as fast as I can here to lower it. They're thinking here, they let these two go, and I think they're thinking that their win condition is two shielding their Altaria against my Ice Beams, but I don't think that's a good move. And they save their Empoleon, so I know it's coming out at the back here because they have 2 shields, I have 1 shield. So by the time we throw all our charge moves, their switch cost is going to be up. So they're going to try and catch the 3rd Ice Beam on their Empoleon. So I've got to keep that in mind as we get to the back. So they tried to Moonblast me, I shield it, and you'll see the second Moonblast that comes through, it still doesn't do a ton of damage. So I can outpace this for sure. Here comes the Moonblast. I'm going to be able to Ice Beam this, but I'm not going to throw because I know the Empoleon is coming, and there it is. They tried to stack there, but I waited, and now I can get the Ice Beam off here and take this out. Or, yeah, I should be able to take it out from here, or it'd be really, really close. Yeah, so take it out. So that's just knowing. Good on the opponent for saving your Pokemon for a sack swap because you need to in that position, but that's just recognizing. So, okay, Galvantula versus Sableye. This is, oh man, I remember this. So I played this so well, and I still lost. So first catch, I caught their Sableye foul play on my Umbreon. Perfect. Absorbed all the damage there, in comes their Venusaur. Normally it would take 3 Frenzy Plants and 3 foul plays, but because they did that chip damage, it should only take 2 Frenzy Plants now, so I'm in a losing battle here. So I'll probably just let this go and see if I can just get the foul plays off. Maybe they lost count, I can maybe grab a shield here. So throw this, and hope I can get to another one. The good news is that the safe swap drew out the Venusaur. So I'm going to go down here, so I'm going to come back in and just farm with Galvantula. So they get off a move. I'm fine with shielding because now I'm going to be super loaded for whatever comes in, and Galvantula hits really hard. So take that out, and out comes the Sableye. So I'm going to throw the first lunge here just to lower their attack, plus it does sort of neutral damage. And they caught on the Ninetales, which is a really good catch. So now I got to come with my um, Azu. I don't have play. This is where Play Rough would have been nice because it's a one less charging move. So I got to go right to the Hydro Pump. They get a Side Shock off, which doesn't do much. So I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump right away. And it took it out. So now they got a full Sableye, which the Shadow Claws are adding up. Do I shield this or do I let it go? I probably shield it because a Foul Play plus Shadow Claws would take me out. So I just need to get to 2 Ice Beams. And I'm thinking my only win condition here is if I sack swap on the Galvantula and I do it again. So I caught 2 of their charge moves in this. So now I just need one more quick move to get to the Ice Beam and I get it and we CMP tie and I lost. So even with correctly catching 2 of their charge moves, 1 for sack swap, I still lost. So some matchups, no matter how well you play, you're doomed to lose. So in this one, I'm running a Ninetales with a Politoed in the back. So Ninetales is going to be weak to fire, and it's going to be weak to rock. So that's why I've got the Politoed. So I switch out into my safe swap here, and I come in with a Tropius. So they don't know what I have, so they have to shield this up and respect it, maybe an Ice Punch. So I got the first Ice Thunder Punch off. Because I let the first move go, I'm going to shield this up just to match shield with them. Because now I can throw the Shadow Ball and either grab their second shield or take Switch. And I took Switch. And this is why this works out perfectly. Because I know they have something that hard punished my Ninetales in the front, but I cover that weakness in the back with a Politoed. So I'm able to allow my Politoed to their Galarian Stunfisk, and they come out with a Pelipper, and because I already had energy on my Ninetales, this match is essentially over. So this is exactly how a safe swap and ABC sort of balanced team here works. If you can flip that match, it is very likely that they are also running a balanced team, that you will be able to align your Pokemon correctly. So take out the Pelipper, they have no shields. I'm going to just spam these Weather Balls until they throw the Rock Slide, and then I'll be able to Weather Ball with my Politoed. So as soon as my switch clock is up now, so as soon as they throw this, I'm going to switch out to Politoed and then take this out. So this is ABC. I call it ABC because I'm looking at ABC in front of me right now, but this is how this team works well. So I think I also use the, did I already show the Venusaur line? So I use like 3 teams. I think this is my 3rd one. And I think I ran one. Oh, I already showed the Venusaur one. So this one, good lead. And again, this is their mistake. So Venusaur, weak to ice. They're trying to hard punish with their Galarian Stunfisk. But now I can hard punish with my Politoed. And this is why you need a safe swap. So this is essentially the opponent just having a similar covering your weakness in the back, but going immediately into the counter there. And you can't do that because I'm also likely covering my weakness in my back. So the fact that I won the lead and they came immediately into this was not great for them. I do have to shield this up because it could be an Earthquake. And I'm worried about being taken out, and I want to keep that alignment on the Venusaur. So the good news is I'll have enough energy to get an Earthquake off here. And because Hypno also deals with this, I'm immediately going to go into my Hypno safe swap here. And because they weren't expecting it, or they tried to for farm, I'm able to take that out. And they have a Regirock in the back, which is interesting. I didn't even see Regirock much in the Retro Cup. So now I'm seeing it here, which is interesting. So I want to see how much a Stone Edge does. I can get a move off here. Again, they don't know what this is, so they're probably going to shield it up because these confusions alone are doing some damage. And I still have the Politoed, and I still have a full health Ninetales. So I'm going to get the second move off here. They let it go. I'm going to try and Confusion down as much as I can. They're going to throw here. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to save the Politoed because I think this has a lot of energy, and I'd rather just go burn my Ninetales because 9 cells is spammy, so I'm going to get to the layer balls and force the shield so that it can be unshielded against my Politoed. And I'm just waiting for them to throw here, and then I'll probably switch. Oh, I think at this point I'm like, oh, I can get to my weather ball and take this out anyways, so I shield it up and take it out. So this is why you need that safe swap. You cannot come in with your counter, your lead Pokemon's counter right away, or else you're going to get countered. So that's it. That's how the team works. Again, fairly obvious setup, but I really prefer this type of play because the Pokemon, like, I like my all safe swap team, and I'm actually going to be using that a few times when Season 8 starts, but I just kind of like the Pokemon A and C are generally harder hitting than safe swaps. You have a safe swap in this matchup that can flip your match, and if you do flip the match successfully, you can align your Pokemon likely to stronger wins. So that's a team. I'm probably going to take, I have a couple more of these teams, sort of strategies that I want to go over, but I have a idea for my video tomorrow that I want to do. That's not this. And then the Kanto Cup starts, and I want to run a bunch of different teams there. So I'm going to showcase those. So I think more of this team building strategies will be later on. But if you like this, again, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed and you're still here, I appreciate if you subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.